Prosecutors and local law enforcement agencies are gearing up for the possibility of voter intimidation at the polls this election day. 10 Tampa Bay's Eric Glasser takes a closer look at the credibility of that threat, the likelihood of it actually happening, and what's being done to prevent it.
We're protecting the integrity of the elections.
Hillsborough State Attorney Andrew Warren says they're dusting off the law books that deal with voter intimidation, an issue they haven't dealt with this seriously in decades.
This is a brave new world in terms of our elections.
Poll workers have been deputized as a first line of defense to limit the presence of uniformed officers some might also perceive as intimidating.
There are laws in place to prevent law enforcement from being at voting precincts to police what's going on in the precinct, which stem from the civil rights movement.
There have already been complaints and concerns. President Trump's rally within shouting distance of a polling site at Raymond James Stadium had election workers explaining distance rules. In St. Petersburg, the site of armed security guards led election workers to contact the sheriff, who determined in that case
it's not unlawful, it is not voter intimidation, it is not coercion.
And in Central Florida, fake but menacing threats exploiting the pro-Trump Proud Boys, who denied having anything to do with the messages. Federal investigators believe Iran was actually behind them. The Southern Poverty Law Center is keeping a close eye on the most highly contested regions.
And the places that we're most likely to see extremist activity are battleground states. So places like Florida.
Prosecutors don't want voters to confuse campaigning or even shouting near polls with intimidation. The key is whether someone corruptly tries to harass someone trying to vote.
Taking pictures of them, trying to get in their face, threatening them in any way. We haven't seen reports of that. We don't anticipate that happening. But again, if that does, we are not going to stand for it.
And Florida law doesn't stand for it either. A person convicted of voter intimidation faces a third-degree felony, a $5,000 fine, and up to 5 years in prison.
These are not things to take lightly, and we don't take them lightly at all.
Again, prosecutors say if you see anything that you consider to be intimidating at a polling place, notify an elections worker who can address it, or if needed, contact law enforcement.